Welcome to 2024 Celebration Day. Look, I'm going to get these here 12s on the stage pretty much straight away. This year, they're dressed as their childhood TV and movie favourites. Scarlett told me how to say that part. So, first on stage is Hugo Kamel, and here's Snow White. Let's welcome Lil, Matilde, William and Leela, and then the Powerpuff Girls. So we've got Blossom, Buttercup, Bubbles and Professor Utonium. Now welcome to the stage, Kate as Shaun the Sheep from Now, let's hear from Cass and Jono, Vector and Gru from Despicable Me. Next is Shinji, Slinky from Toy Story. Now welcome to the stage, Callan Reese as Finn and Jake from Adventure Time. Now welcome Charlie as Spider-Man. Sorry James, this is a surprise addition. We have Ned as Bob the Builder. Now let's welcome Jack and Aiden as Samwise Gamgee and Frodo from Lord of the Rings. And Draco as the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. Next we have Annika, Sunday and Millie as the Tombliboos in the Night Garden.
Looking down, here and there, all about.
Welcome to the stage, Mia as Skippy the Bush Kangaroo. Lola from Charlie and Lola. Come on down, Ava, as Bibble from Barbie Fairy. Welcome to the stage, Gray, as number taker from the Numberjacks. Come on down, Lena, India, Sage and Lucas. We have Daphne, Velma, Shaggy and Stuart. And last of all, because she's busy being the stage manager, is Scarlett, Big Bird from Sesame. Logistics here. For some of you guys want to sit across the front of the stage, get comfy, we'll be here for a little bit. And maybe you guys, if you're feeling squashy, you can wriggle into the catwalk a little bit too. You're good? Okay. We come together today to celebrate this group of young people who have successfully completed their VCE. It's my job every year to stand up here and celebrate the graduating class, to pay tribute to their time with us at Candlebar and Alice Miller from the point of view of the person who guides them through their last year of school and out into the world. It's my job to comfort, cajole, motivate, moderate, mediate and guide. Last year I commented on how the class of 2023 really made me earn my paycheck, and on reflecting on this, I can confidently say that this group made my job really easy. This might be surprising to those who remember their first day at the school. The 1st of February 2012, when one of these young people wandered off into the bush with a couple of new friends, looking for the Thomas the Tank Engine, sparking a really frantic search. Well, they gave everyone a little bit of a scare on that first day. Throughout their time at Candlebar, they did plenty to ensure that this was not their legacy. In 2013 and 2014, they were intensely involved in long-term campaigns of stick wars and humans versus zombies, often mediating and negotiating rules. You okay? Acutely aware that if they hurt someone, an adult might have to intervene and they might not be allowed to play anymore. These games were serious business. Here, we played for just an afternoon. At 7 years old, this group were committed for weeks on end. At the end of 2014, they performed enthusiastically in one of Donna's most well-known stage productions, Doctor Who the Musical. You can still see the TARDIS tucked in next to the tram. Legend says that one of these students got stuck in the TARDIS mid-show and had to be rescued. If you're wondering who that is, think about who might struggle to fit comfortably in there today. This group was ready for anything in those early years. Camping at Bright from prep, riding bikes for a week in grade 1. They always seemed cursed by rain. Here we are, indoors yet again. But this didn't dampen their spirits. They were so keen for adventure that Sam Ford took them out into the bush at Candlebar, not once but twice, to complete the 40-hour famine backpack challenge. They survived 40 hours with whatever they could carry in a backpack. No tents, they built their own shelter. They lived off $3 a day. It rained, of course, but they stuck it out. There were some legendary winter soiree bands, including renditions of songs from Hamilton, Pharrell Williams and Paul Kelly. Back then, there were at least 4 rappers in this class. Some excellent singers, some great backup dancers, drummers, keyboard players and saxophonists. Many of them have stopped performing now, but I'm sure you can figure out who I'm talking about just by looking at their reactions. They also exited normal schooling for a term, taking part in Blizz's Down the Hill program, absolutely enthusiastic about any challenge thrown at them, and willing to be really flexible. So how do I know so much about their Candlebark years? Well, they never stop talking about them. They value these years deeply and talk about them all the time. There's a film coming out soon that follows their journey from these earliest days. I hope you get to see it. So I'm going to leave a huge gap in the middle here. And move on to talk about this group of young people we have in front of us today. And that's not because I don't think the senior years are important, but I would like to leave Mark plenty to talk about when it's his turn. I would like to reflect on the exceptional leadership that this group has shown the school this year, and suggest that although they might be have very different interests and passions to what they had in these early years, at their core they hold the same values. They are adaptable, reliable, peace-loving and inclusive. They support each other without question. They look out for each other and they look out for our school. They've embraced their leadership role with enthusiasm, determined to serve their school well. They started with Chris Kringle with the new vision of an eco-friendly gift extravaganza, promoted enthusiastically by various students at the morning meeting. Often when young people are given opportunities to lead, they focus on the public aspect, the attention, respect and notice they receive for doing a good job, perhaps even the desire to be in charge. But not this group. They work tirelessly behind the scenes, working out every little detail, focusing on the enjoyment others would experience if it all goes well. They were so committed to the invisible parts of the work that we coined the terms leaders and worker bees. When it came time for the next big leadership task, organising the Easter egg hunt, they were quick to identify that leadership is best shared rather than taken on by the most extroverted and confident in the group. There were new leaders, new worker bees, and the Easter egg hunt was organised with military precision. They also reimagined the Easter egg hunt to incorporate new roles, giving even more people a chance to participate. Usually in Year 12, leadership duties wane after Easter as the demands of study increase and pressure starts to mount, but not this group. They decided they wanted Year 12 hoodies and they were not getting them unless they could ensure that absolutely everyone in the year level could get one. They were so organised and so focused. They came with well-planned business proposals, complete with slide decks, and really slick presentations. When I gently suggested they might be too busy to take on a big project like this, they could not be swayed. They were tenacious and determined. Thus, Year 12 Chaos Week was born. A riotous week of cream pies, blistering karaoke performances from staff members, crazy hair, wild bidding wars, and it wasn't just a lot of fun, it was really creative, and it brought the school together. New leaders emerged again at this moment, those with exceptional PR skills, and those willing to take a pie in the face to ensure that everyone got a Year 12 hoodie. Honestly, I thought that by term 3, they might need a little break from leading the school. Term 3 of Year 12 is notoriously busy and difficult, as teachers push to finish their coursework and students start to apply for university. But not our group. They were determined, hear that word again, they're really determined, to take part in one last whole school game, humans versus zombies. They now understood that one of the best ways to make something happen, if you really want it, is to offer to organise it yourself. And with this, a new crew of leaders was born. Whoa, hang on. This has been in the rain. And the rest willingly moved into the role of worker bees. The group was quick to recognise specific talents as talents needed for the venture, and the game was a glorious vision of fake blood, an apocalyptic soundtrack, lots of runners. It was wild. So these are the parts you could see, but the most impressive aspect of this group is their quiet leadership. It's the leading that you do without an audience, the stuff that keeps the school moving and the culture warm. This group set a constant example for the rest of the school. They worked steadily all year. They took their clean-up seriously. They kept the sunroom clean, which is a first. And they used it for studying, which is also a first. And when they noticed something of concern, they spoke up gently, or they spoke to a staff member. They thanked their teachers after every lesson, not out of habit, but out of genuine gratitude. They sat in the middle of the morning meeting every day. They looked after each other, and they were patient and supportive when a classmate was struggling. They work together to learn, collaborating to help everyone do well, rather than competing with each other. They always tried to make sure everyone was included and actively looked for ways to draw people in. As they move out into a world that is rapidly changing, it is their tenacity, their quiet leadership, their desire to include everyone that will not only set them up to have fulfilled and successful lives, but will act as a steady force we need in unsettled times. So moving on to the academic part of this. Here at Alice Miller, we tend to measure success in VCE by how meaningfully students move towards their adult lives. We think about ATAR as a kind of necessary currency, used to compete for a place at university, but just a small measure of a student's growth, progress and hard work. So whilst I'm about to announce the academic awards, which celebrate the obvious and tangible success of the students have had in their coursework this year, it is important to acknowledge the success of all students in this year level. I know this cohort have worked with determination for their ATARs, but whatever that number is, we will only ever remember your care, inclusivity, adaptability, sense of community, and the way you worked with us and each other to help everyone achieve their goals. So, I'll now announce the academic awards. These students will receive their award at the formal graduation ceremony in 2 weeks. Each of these students earns the highest mark in their school-based coursework in the subject areas. So in the area of English, congratulations to Mia Klein. In the maths domain is Aidan Ford. We have Shinji Sujimoto. For the humanities, Sage Draken. Languages, congratulations to Mathilde Blanco. Mathilde's the only one who followed my instructions. Draw attention to yourself if you win. Health and Physical Education, Annika Redmonds. Performing Arts is Lucas Taylor. And Visual Arts is also Lucas Taylor. I would now like to hand over to the first student speaker, Lil Myers.
The thing broke. No, got my cover bond. Hi, that's really tall. There we go. Sorry, Jane. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. I would like to preface this speech by saying that school is hard. It's really bloody hard. And I would like to thank each of you for coming here today, though some of you may not be here by choice, to celebrate and acknowledge the hard work and dedication of the wonderful people behind me. For those of you who are feeling stressed or overwhelmed by school's demands, I want you to know that it gets better. And I know that's easy for me to say as a Year 12 has just finished their schooling, but I'm not talking to you as that Year 12. I'm talking to you as the Year 7 who felt like an unintelligent dunce compared to her classmates and who humiliated herself by passing out on the library floor after getting her injections and traumatising Gray. Sorry, Gray. I'm talking to you as the Year 8 who was lonely and isolated during lockdowns and wanted nothing more than to see her friends again. The Year 9 who felt set back by COVID and had panic attacks during maths tests. You're the Year 10, 11 and 12 who never felt really smart, worthy or proud of their achievements. It took months of ruminating to laugh over my passing out and to realise that Year 7 to 10 maths tests just aren't important enough to cause that much anxiety. Sorry. It also took me a while to realise that while these things were happening, I also formed lifelong bonds with some of my favourite people in the world, some of which I even managed to con into doing a Powerpuff Girls group costume with me. I worked on spectacular productions with absolutely top-notch people who continue to inspire me, and I hope to always be in contact with. I went on life-changing adventures some people never get to experience in their lifetime. Yet, even with these wonderful things, school was still hard. There was lots of snot, tears, and anxiety, but here I am. I somehow did it, and if I did it, trust me, you can too. It won't be easy, but it can be done. That's the most important thing. Please remember that if all you do is some days is survive, that's okay. And if you've been surviving for a while, or find yourself unable to get out of bed, face the mound of homework, or to feel as though everything is okay, I hope you can trust me when I say it will get better. It might take a week, month, year or more, but I know you're strong enough to face it, even if you don't. You'll be okay in the end, trust me. Thank you. I didn't prepare anything, unfortunately, because I was trying to organise our run order. But I just wanted to quickly talk about the productions here that I've been a part of. I'm so grateful to everyone who was a part of Matilda and Mary Poppins. Something about Alice Miller is that you can connect with everyone through different year levels, and I think the productions is such a beautiful way that happens. I mean, I now have friends in year 9 who were year 7s in 2022 when I was in year 10. And working with Anne and Donna and all the music teachers for those productions was just such a special thing to me, and I hold a really special place in my heart for everyone who's ever done a production or thought about doing one, or worked on costumes, or worked backstage. Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say, because I didn't prepare anything.
Hello. Just building suspense here. It often surprises people when they hear that kids at Candlebark go on their first camp without their parents in their first year of school at the ripe age of 5 for 3 sleeps to be exact. It may shock others to hear of kids zipping down Monroe boards, which are basically large skateboards we would sit on, which we would often crash to stop before comparing battle wounds. Or maybe stick wars, or even the prospect of cleanup, which was actually graded at Candlebark to provide that sweet satisfaction of incentivising Mark. Not only does the school encourage young people to take risks, it develops independence, astute curiosity, and confidence to just give it a go. So too are these inherent traits in the culture of Alice Miller. Now then, I'd like to touch on the golden rule of improv. Yes, and. Don't worry, this is going somewhere and it's going to be super meaningful. And chart its prevalence throughout my schooling at Alice and highlight its particular vibrancy in this Year 12 cohort. 2022, I told Donna I wanted to direct a play for my 9-10 theatre arts project. With the remarkable skills of yes and, Donna not only welcomed this idea, but supervised countless sleepovers and rehearsals, provided valuable assistance, and even ran a short intimacy workshop for the climactic moment of the kiss of the play. This generosity of knowledge, time, and effort present throughout the staff at this school can be seen passed down to students. Many of my peers here took on board acting, backstage, music composition, and performance roles, as well as food catering and waitering for high tea plus show package deals. Regardless of the school grade, as the group was largely comprised of students outside of the theatre arts class. Despite this, the crew performed with remarkable dedication. In fact, an actor, who will remain nameless, continued to finish the show, including the kiss, after losing his lunch mid-performance. Buckets were hidden around after that for the rest of the shows. 2023, I asked both the Alice Miller vocal group and a music student for their assistance on working and producing a song for my media film. Again, the YesN culture of the school can be evident through the vocal group, with students from varied year levels and their dedication and donation of their time, not only come recording day, but in rehearsals beforehand. Most notably, the music student wrote and composed a song remarkably overqualified for a film about toast. 2024. I've been absolutely delighted by the Yes and response to Photo Club, the amount of quality photos produced by a talented range of students and teachers. It is important to note Michael's yes responses to the theatre studies class, his ambitious set designs, as well as the and in the form of his knowledge, expertise, and wisdom in set construction and design. Finally, I promise, it was fairly recently when I watched a passionate game of gang up tag on the field behind A Block, watching what seemed to be nearly the entirety of Year 8. Risks were calculated by untagged students, narrowly running towards the tagger as if to valiantly throw them off the tracks of their mates, while others seemed to hold that great notion of just giving it a go. This group exhibited and embraced the crucial ideas I see present in all facets of Alice Miller. In a hopefully not too long-winded speech, I wanted to celebrate the ideas of Yes and. To give it a go, take risks and remain curious. Supported by the endless support, dedication and mastery of the teachers and staff at Alice Miller for the rest of your time at school and beyond into adulthood. Thank you.
Make up for my lack of height. It's not actually that canonically tall in the actual number taking. I'm a sound design student. I don't know why I'm struggling with this. Is that better?
Turn it off.
Is it? Okay. Hey team. I told myself I was going to start with the words "Hey team" because I thought that would be really informal. And I actually have here, let me open my speech, or what is of it. My speech starting is, "Hey team," those words are actually written here. I don't really know why I wrote that. And then what follows is, "I'm Gray, I don't know if you know me, because I'm sure more of you know who I am than I know who of you are." Which is kind of awkward because I see you guys at work and I'm like, "Oh, I know you from somewhere." And they're like, "We go to the same school." And I'm like, "Oh," because I don't know. But I said I was going to do that and then I did it, so it's okay. I wanted to say that I am incredibly lucky to attend Alice Miller, not just for the teachers and the expertise here, but also for everyone here, like all the students, I mean like everyone, but everyone in this room, everyone outside of this room that isn't here today. Because I think Alice Miller has a really fantastic culture and a really fantastic, I don't know how to say it, way of life. My shoulder pad is coming off. And I've been incredibly fortunate to run the Alice Miller meme account since Year 7, which is kind of crazy. I remember starting it, I was in the office, and there's this photo of Dave and Donna and Donna's mum, I think, old-timey. And I'm like, "Oh, I could make a meme out of that," so I did. And look where I am today. Laugh it up. Who laughed? I'm kidding. I'm being silly. I'm being silly. If you guys keep laughing, I'm going to start laughing a lot, and I'm going to start. Yeah, that was kind of like the entirety of the speech I wrote, because I was like writing it and I'm like, wow, "Hey team" is a really bad opening, and then I stopped. Yeah, I guess there's something really special about how, regardless of clique or year level or gender or whatever, everyone gels a lot. And I think I've been very fortunate as someone who runs the Alice Miller meme account to kind of also encapsulate that culture as well. Which I really appreciate, and I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity. You know, good things may end, but that just leaves doors open for more good things, and it's okay to be sad that it happened and that it's ending, but it's also good to be happy because, you know, there's more things coming, and yeah, that's my speech.
than wearing wool today. It is boiling. Well, I'm Kate. Some of you may not know me, but I came here in year 9, and let's just say that was a scary start. I was a terrified little year 9 who was scared of everyone here, which I'm surprised because now I can talk to every single one in my year level and I love them all and I'm going to miss them so much. But through year 9, I had brilliant teachers, and actually these guys all came up to me and talked to me, which was really sweet because I'd never been to another school before. This school, I love it so much because you have a chance to connect with everyone. Like, well, in morning meetings, I know we have been not there for a while, but it's still a lovely chance. Get to see all of you, which is brilliant. I also love this school because you can take adventures, you can take chances, you can do things that you would have never done before. We had a COVID year sort of WOMAD, which in hindsight wasn't great, but it was a beautiful experience because I'd never been out of the state before. That took a turn when in year 10, we did the big trip. Now, I have a very clear image of, on the big trip, me and a few of my group speeding along a canal on bikes, going to Pauline, who's actually here today, who had chips waiting for us. I loved that. That was amazing. From the big trip now, I want to travel as much as I can. I then later took that on with the Overland. I did that in year 11, and I wasn't going to. I talked to my mum, and I was like, oh, I don't want to miss any school. I really want to, I want to get in an essay for Stuart. I want to help do some work for Patina. Patina actually came on the trip with me, and it was amazing. I remember Aiden walking up a mountain in Crocs. I don't know where his mind was at, but he did it. And it was beautiful, and it was such an amazing experience, and it was somewhere else I could go. From this school, I've been through different classes, different experiences. I've sort of found what I really want to do. Like with the art show, I've found I want to go into curating, and that is all thanks to Manon and all of my teachers who inspire my learning. And I want you all to understand, you may not like school, that's fine, you don't have to, you really don't have to. But these teachers are here for all of us, and they help. Even if they give you a pie in the face like Liam did with our day, they're always there to help, they're always here to chat, and it's such a nice thing. So take the chances you can, because this school opens up so many possibilities. So, thank you.
I'd just like to acknowledge that a large part of the amazing culture and environment that we have here at Alice Miller is due to a lot of staff who often go unnoticed, yet their work is quite foundational to everything here at Alice Miller. Firstly, I'd just like to acknowledge Michael and Craig, who work immensely hard for huge amounts of time, and they've built the school up to be something that we can cherish and that hopefully will endure. And also Sally and V, to all the beautiful food they cook, from the delectable Mexican beans to the beloved curries and everything else. They just put in so much work, and everyone should be really grateful for that. And as well as that, Lisa, who makes so many things at this school accessible and easy for everyone. It's really a privilege that we have here. And as well as that, James, for organising the sound system here today. Last minute notice, so thank you, James. And also to Kate in the science department, who I think often goes quite unrecognised, but who is very crucial to a lot of things at this school. So just thank you to everyone who contributes. It's amazing.
Christ, am I going to miss those Mexican beans? Oh my God. I want to move this microphone, but I'll probably turn it yellow, so I'll not to. I appreciate in the stories told so far that I've been, I think, in 3 of them. I did very proudly run off to find Thomas the Tank Engine on my 2nd week at Candlebark. I am convinced if John Arthur didn't pull up in that ute, though, I would have found him soon enough. That's not why I'm up here. I'm up here, I've had the responsibility thrusted on me this morning to begrudgingly pass over the sunroom to the Year 11s. Is someone collecting it? Oh, lovely. Okay, so I now, in this moment... There you go. I've had a lot of very special moments in our sunroom, I think we all have. It's a lovely, lovely place, and I'm heartbroken to see what you're going to do to it. However, there is a silver lining to this, and the silver lining for me is that Karen's told me this morning that the couch you've already put in there is not allowed to stay. So, enjoy moving that. Wherever you're going to move it. Here I symbolically pass you. No, you might not want to touch me. Cheers, guys. And I'd now like to welcome Mark to the stage to say some words.
Yeah, just about the right height, I think. Reece, brace yourself, you're about to be in a lot more stories. Well done, Year 12. We are going to go on a journey and reflect back over the years of your schooling here at Alice Miller and into your late years at Candlebark as well. We're going to reminisce about a cohort that has proven themselves to be adaptable and successful in overcoming and succeeding in an ever-changing environment. Much like the beautiful veiled chameleon can, you have been able to do that. We're going to hear first-hand accounts from your teachers throughout the years that highlight the duality, or the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of underlying personality that kind of embodies this year level. We're going to, because seemingly we have a cohort of students that are conscientious and can pull off the remarkable. Yet on the other hand, there's been many a time where you have made Mark pull out what is left of his hair. I don't know, I'm not sure. We're going to start in Year 12, and we're going to acknowledge the people that we added to each year level as we work reverse chronologically through your time here at Alice Miller. So in Year 12, we were joined by Annika, and Annika, of course, brought a lot of organisation, a lot of dedication with her. She was one of the keys to, I think, organising the Year 12 hoodies that you will enjoy this year for the first time. And in terms of her organisation and her attention to detail, I'm not really sure where she gets that from. I'm very lucky in that I get to share all of the memories, or lots of the memories, that your teachers in the room had for you today, which is a great honour to do. And aside from the parents and the family who are here with you in the room today, the teachers have kind of been like your pseudo uncle and aunties for however many years you've been here at Alice Miller. So please take the opportunity to get around to them today and thank them for everything that they have done for you. Whether you've been here 1 year, whether you've been here 6 years, whether you've been in the system for 13 years. Because you mean a lot to them, and I'm sure they mean a lot to you. First of all, Stuart and Mem have some recollections about your time in Year 12 rehearsing for The Eye of the Storm. And this is probably the first indication that there is a slight Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of relationship going on here. Because Mem's recollection is that she wanted to acknowledge your commitment to the Year 12 production. Putting on new work is notoriously tricky, and working through the inner recesses of Stuart's mind was no small feat, which Mem is sure Stuart would also acknowledge. What impressed Mem most about this bunch was how strong of an ensemble you were. No one was trying to be a star, and everyone contributed in equal measure. She's watched far more experienced actors fall into the entropy, thanks for that word, Mem, and accusation when grappling with a new work, and there was none of that ego on show in your performance or your rehearsal for The Eye of the Storm. Also, actors with far less confidence rose to levels of performance demanded by the play. On the other hand, Stuart remembers that he slipped into one of the rehearsals for The Eye of the Storm to observe Reese, there we go, Reese, number one, on stage working through a difficult monologue, pausing frequently to remember the lines, during which pauses Scarlett would yell the words at him while banging her fist in time with the pentameter. When she noticed Stuart cowering in the shadows, she smoothed her face and assured him that that this was not a bad rehearsal and that it wasn't always like this.
It was.
Will shares a story from biology. After a long day, again, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, after a long day exploring the Gene Technology Access Centre and engaging in some technical hands-on biology workshops, the Year 12s asked if they could do something in the city beforehand. So they're at the pinnacle of kind of Melbourne University, very smart, very scholarly, and this is what they chose. By a unanimous vote, despite all that Melbourne has to offer, they decided to go to a playground. After nearly being run over in their excitement to get to the playground, they proceeded to go down slides, swing on swings, climb ropes, and run around like much younger people. It was a special moment for embracing the child within and is reflective of the Alice Miller culture. Bear with me. Christine. Thank you, Christine, for this. I'll try and get through it. Christine recalls French immersion, and again, there's a contradictory nature of the two memories of French immersion, but Christine's memory is, the time has come for me to say au revoir, but not adieu. It's amazing to think that I have known you since you were in Year 7. I commend you for sticking with French through COVID and the cacophony of language drills and repetition on Google Meet. Through the jungle of verbal, nominal, adjectival and pronominal, I'm going to get that water in a second, agreements, learning to differentiate direct objects from datives and other complements, learning to experience time as event or condition, supposition or doubt, all of this persistence and hard slog to reach such linguistic competence that you will never be in danger of saying that you have horses on your head, and to crown your brilliant student career with stories about talking cats and dogs, or dogs and cats. I know you found French difficult as well as fascinating, challenging and worthwhile. You are now able to speak French, to read and write it. You have learned the language, history, the arts and the literature. We also had fabulous times together in the schoolhouse in immersion. I know that for a couple of you that was somewhat akin to psychological torture, but you all pulled it off. Also, sorry about ruining the cake. Well done, Leslie. I will miss you next year. Thank you, Christine. However, Danny's memory of the immersion was of a humorous exchange of notes between Hugo and Christine during one of the French immersion sleepover nights, where Hugo attempted to impress on Christine the comedic brilliance of Ricky Gervais. And likewise, Christine on Hugo, the actually funny Eddie Izzard. As it turned out, both were unmoved and unimpressed with each other's choices, so they agreed to disagree, and the good-humoured banter continued well into the night. But Tanya recalls, well, this is a message for the 2024 and 2023 General Maths students. She's hoping that after completing the course, you feel confident about navigating your financial future. You should be able to confidently work out your repayments if you ever decide to purchase a car or a house, know how much interest you are paying to your lender, and work out how much money you have in your superannuation for your retirement. I think all the parents in the room have just sighed a massive sigh of relief there, hoping on the back of mum and dad. Bettina has thoroughly enjoyed teaching you and getting to know you. Thank you for all the shared moments. Thanks for the delicious treats you bought on cake days. Thanks for your energy and being such wonderful human beings. She will miss you. Year 11. Ned joins us. Where's Ned? Ned joins us today. And your Year 11 coordinator was Simone. Some of Simone's favourite memories of you all was that on Year 11 camp, the kitchen was the place to be. Everyone wanted a job and everyone wanted to be involved. Matilde led a stretch session at the camp that was so popular they had to find a bigger space for it. Simone acknowledges that you're all such great human beings, and the process of thinking about you all has brought back some very fond memories for her and her education in her educational career. She hopes you have a wonderful graduation. However, on the same camp, Madeline recalls the group creating a playlist for the camp for your dress-up disco. She was really surprised by your song choices. In several hours of dancing, they only included one song that has been released in the past decade. That song was Bouncing Balls by the Wiggles. Otherwise, the list was almost made up entirely of 2000s Katy Perry, ABBA, and the most enthusiastically received Roro Rasputin, which I think is not one. So again, you know, the good and the bad of Year 11 camp. Simone also wanted to give some individual recognition to Charlie, who she said was incredibly willing to give things a try to improve himself. He was incredibly kind and always thinking of others. On the other hand, Hugo. On camp, Hugo generously organised a table tennis tournament, which he promptly went on to win. She suspects he already knew he was the best table tennis player in the tournament. Draco, he has a never-say-die attitude at the track to camp and had a willingness to help others. On the other hand, Lilo, the great debater. Universally accepted evidence-based theories of science. Universally accepted evidence-based theories of science mean nothing to Lilo. You need to have all of your ducks in a row and at least have had 2 rehearsals if you want to take her on. But then Simone also adds that there's nothing like a Kate Chappell greeting in the morning to lift your spirits. Ned will step up when no one else in the class or workshop will offer an answer. Apparently we should dedicate, and this is maybe Michelle, you can take note of this, we should dedicate a new beanbag in the library to Mia, because if you sit in a beanbag and study in the library, good things will come. And that's Simone's lasting memory of Mia. And lastly, Rosie's willingness to give anything a go. Well done to you all from Simone. Year 10, Sage and Jen join us, and then Mia makes a comeback. Marty and Pauline, great to see you, Pauline, have supplied some memories of the big trip. Marty's is a little like a travel itinerary, but he talks about travelling to the Barcelona Metro, to the Camp Nou to watch Football Club Barcelona versus Atletico Bilbao. There was a crowd of 84,000. Your group got separated in 2 very packed, sweaty metros, resulting in a nervous hope for the best, wait at the station when he arrived, and huge relief when you were all reunited. He said that travelling from Argentat to Brussels involved a full-day multi-vehicle cross-country traverse. You all drove with high cars 3 hours to the Bordeaux station. You took a train to the Paris station and then had an hour to get a connection at Paris Nord station to Brussels. You arrived in Paris on time, but the metro was on strike, so then you had to run through the city, just missing the next train. Hours later, you managed to catch a bus, arriving in Brussels close to midnight, and then began cycling to Paris the very next morning. So, great resilience by the group. He also adds that Pauline drove her group by minibus from Paris to Argentat straight off the plane through the Parisian suburbs, 500 kilometres of driving. So perhaps that resilience was all down to Pauline. Your group, Pauline and Marty's group, was obsessed with stray cats and dogs roaming the streets on the Camino with near constant stops to pat every single one of them along the way. They remember that Will used to get up early to clean the chateau or anywhere else that they stayed, quietly doing each and every task without having to be asked, which is a recurring memory of Will from Starfield. On another big trip, John Philip recalls losing Shinji on the bike ride after being caught up in the bumpy, crazy northern French roads, only to see Shinji reappear looking worse for wear, having ridden through a sudden downpour that the rest of the group managed to avoid. John Philip also recalls Lena and her Swifty information sessions. There was no more information about that, so we won't interrogate. Reese. Chance encounters with the Parisian subway ticket police and learning the hard way why you need to hold on to your ticket until you leave the subway. Apparently Reese's intellect and quick wit were no match for the two heavily armed officers playing full combat gear and with an intolerance for tourists. When John told his group that they were going to a EuroLeague basketball game, which is the second best league in the world, they said that they didn't want to go as it would be so quiet and small, and the only noises that they would hear are the shoes of the players on the court. What they experienced was likely the largest basketball crowd that they had ever experienced that they ever will experience in their lifetime, and most of their ears did not stop ringing for 3 days. In Year 9, it's a bit of a brief reflection, because Year 9 was a funny year, and similarly to Year 8, in that we had interruptions due to COVID. But Kate and Millie arrived, and Marty remembers an unusual WOMAD in which there were dance police. So it was a little bit like being on the set of Footloose or something, like instead of band music, they band dance. And the police would come around and ask people to stop dancing or wriggling or whatever it was that people wanted to do to music or vibrating. On one evening, after getting to bed around 2 a.m. on the Friday night, you were all up for the Adelaide Park Run at 8 a.m. and apparently there was much rejoicing. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic, Marty, or whether or not that was actual, probably a bit of both. Although he does recall the MasterChef competition at the hostel being a real highlight. Alright, apparently not. Alright, in Year 8, we had 26 newcomers join us. I'm not going to name them all. And I feel like I was set up for massive failure by the powers that be here at Alice Miller, because I inherited you all as year level coordinator, but I had to follow in the footsteps of John Philip, which is something my shoes just don't do to his ginormous shoes. Not only did we have 26 newcomers following in the footsteps of John Philip as your Year 7 coordinator, but we had COVID hit, and that was the year that it hit and affected us probably more so than any other year following. As we were just starting to get to know each other, we were hit by COVID, and we had to retreat to our homes for what felt like endless days of remote learning and trying to stay connected through one another online. There were whole class online Kahoots, online HIIT and yoga sessions instead of PE classes, morning year level check-ins, virtually meeting one another's pets, and all day learning in pyjamas when you felt like it. Following COVID, just to really test your toughness, we decided to take you on the Great Ocean Walk to get you out in life moving again. In hindsight, maybe we were a little harsh. That was no easy feat given the sedentary year that most of us had endured, but I recall Emily and I being endlessly impressed by our group's resilience and camaraderie as we covered the kilometres of beautiful but rugged coastline in some pretty oppressive heat. It was hot. It was hot. Yeah. Once at the campsite, your cooperation and self-resilience as a group meant that you were rarely, if ever, seeking guidance from Emily and I about how to set up, how to keep yourselves entertained, or how to cook dinner. On reflection, it may have been better if you had have sought a little more advice on how to cook the group dinner, but we all made it to the end very well nourished. John Philip offered another Shinji story when reflecting on the Great Ocean Walk with his Year 8 group, and Shinji's very apt that the dad's in the audience for this one now. Shinji and his very GQ style shirt that was fashionably 8 sizes too large, not really what you would typically associate with the most intuitive hike gear. When quizzed about his shirt, Shinji offered that he had read that a long sleeve button-up shirt was on the packing list, So, showing his famous initiative, he raided his dad's wardrobe and grabbed one of his father's business shirts without actually telling his dad he was going to do it. Do you recall missing a shirt?
I don't.
You did a good job then, Shinji. Well done. Yeah. Our hardest challenge, though, as a Year 8 cohort, came shortly after returning from the Great Ocean War. This is a tricky part. We lost a very colourful personality and a dear friend to many of you in the form of Lachlan Murray. Lockie was an individual through and through, from his taste in music to his fashion sense. I clearly remember him enthusiastically introducing himself when I arrived midway through the Year 7 year, and Lockie proudly telling me that from now on I would often see him dressed as a cowboy. While he clearly had his challenges, he loved coming to school at Alice Miller. It was a place where he could be himself and be surrounded by his friends. I have no doubt that he would be thrilled for you all today, and much of what made Alice Miller so special for him was everybody who sits on this stage. Well done everyone on getting through that. In Year 7, okay, we again turn to the wealth of information that is John Phillip, who recalls it being the beginning of Aidan Ford's winning every cross-country and orienteering competition ever. Reese. He also recalls the maths class. Trying to get Reese to show his working out was a full-time job in itself, in spite of the fact that Reese always got good marks. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Reese, you had most of us guessing for years, which was the true indication of you. I think it's the better one. And in grade 5 and 6, Sam Ford reckons that the roots of teamwork and camaraderie and the virtue of building resilience while helping others were sown early in this cohort and started back at Candlebark when they embarked on the 40-hour backpack challenge. And the team consisted of India, Lucas, Lena, Cal, Ruben, Charlie, Aidan, Harry, Jack and Dorian. Over 2 years, you raised an amazing amount of money for people that age of $9,100. The group lived out of their backpacks for 2 nights and hiked, Sam? Yeah. Without tents to keep them warm and with the added restriction of a $3 per person food budget. They survived wet, windy and wild conditions as another testament to your resilience, your good nature and your willingness to put others before yourself.
We're almost done, I promise.
All right. You have been a consistently changing cohort and one that has successfully adapted and evolved to overcome some seriously daunting challenges in your young lives thus far. If we acknowledge those who joined the cohort in the reverse chronological order, we could have 45 people sitting on this stage right now. But we know that time only moves forward, and with the forward movement comes great change. It brought great new people into your lives, while other great people moved on. Far wiser people than I acknowledge that change is the one constant in life. As Rabbi Sachs acknowledged in his speech to the British Parliament in 2017 House of Lords debate on education, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, he stated that it is the roles of schools to teach students how to handle change without fear, to be proud of who they are and to keep learning throughout their lifetime. Schools need to produce students who are equipped with virtues and a moral compass that will remind an increasingly changing society that we need to look after the we's as well as the I's in this world. It takes an army to defend a country, but it takes education to defend a civilization. And we need to be able to trust that the students that we send out into the world go further than we, the influential adults in the room, did when it comes to writing your own chapters. It is now your time to head out into the world, and I for one cannot wait to read the chapters that you are about to write. I think based on what we have heard here today alone and what we have come to know of you as people over however long you have been with us here at Alice Miller, we can be confident that you as a cohort are ready to make a significant and positive change to the rapidly changing world that you're about to encounter. Perhaps the final word, though, on the 2024 Year 12 cohort of Alice Miller should be left with the incomparable Hartley Mitchell, who recalled a group that has provided constant entertainment that makes home and away seem like play school. Congratulations, Year 12 cohort of 2024, and good luck in the future. Well done.
These guys are changing the tradition and they wanted a special exit track, so let's make a little pathway forward.